So restorative justice are the definition that we use is relational approach to conflict. How are we doing these two things at the same time? Building relationship and engaging in conflict at the same time. We know as educators that relationships are the keys to the kingdom, and young people make mistakes at all ages. That just looks different. And how do we help them navigate through that conflict? And I think that in where we see some misimplementation is that there's a little bit of too much relationship, like just focus on building relationship and like really like dive in there. And that's not true. But if we're missing the other part of like, we actually have to say like, hey, the thing that's happening right now is like not okay. You can't pull somebody's hair, and you can't sort of shove another student who's in line in front of you. We can't play tackle football or slide tackle on the concrete at recess, like those kind of things. Like we have to engage in those conversations early. And so I come from a alternative setting background. I was just at another alternative setting in California, actually, a couple months ago, and one of the teachers there was like saying, I want to save my relationship capital until I need to ask something really big and hard of a student. And I think that's a totally like understandable place to come from. I'm going to invest in a relationship, invest in a relationship, invest in a relationship. And then when, bad thing happens, fight, drugs, gets caught up with the charge in the community, finds himself like in a unhoused situation where sort of like the family unit is kind of breaking apart, whatever, like then I need to bring my full capital and like really leverage that to get this young person to change their behavior. I would say like that's certainly an approach. I think if young people, I think that young people need a lot of at bats at the conflict. Lots and lots of like real slow pitch or real easy softball underhand, like take your time. We're going to do this over and over and over again. Because what happens, I'm getting a little off topic here, but like what happens is young people have such an aversion to conflict because it's so closely associated with getting in trouble. And conceptually, we don't even know what that means, getting in trouble. I talk to kids all over, my own kids, who I do this work with all the time. Like he says, like getting in, I don't want to get in trouble. Am I going to get into trouble? I was like, dude, we'd never get you. You're never in trouble. But we do have to talk about the thing that happened. We are sitting on the couch. We are like taking a time out and like breathing into like this space of like what happened. And so strong restorative systems start with lots and lots of easy, light accountability. And that's really like one of the first things that I'm like trying to engage with schools and with teachers and with folks who are doing this work in is like we got to talk about just what happened because there's such an aversion to owning the mess that you've made. And if we wait, we invest in relationships, and then something super big happens, then we're really putting a lot of pressure on that one incident, as opposed to doing lots and lots and lots of at-bats. And then you get to the big game, and then it's easy. And it's like, yeah, I did bring drugs to school, or I did pull the fire alarm, or I did start a fire in the bathroom. And now I can sit in that mess that I've made with a lot more comfort and recognition of how it impacted people, what my thinking was at the time, how other people might have been thinking, what other people might have been thinking at the time. And then like, now what do we do? Then the hard part is, what do we do to make things better?